Hi all. Okay, so I have made a mistake already. I said in my first video, I said that I was about to have my 4th round of chemo. Wrong. I have had my 4th round of chemo, and I should have said that I'm about to have my 5th because I only had 2 to go. Sorry about that. And I said that it was happening on the day, my children's 2nd day back at school. So that's today. So I just had my 5th round of chemo today, which means I only got 1 more to go. Yippee! So I'm very excited. But having said that I've got 1 more to go because I've just got home from hospital. Almost popped a vein. Anyway, I'll explain that in a moment, but so yeah, 1 to go. 1 more round to go. But having said that, because I just had my 5th round today, and I'm having 6 altogether, I've got to get through the next 2 weeks. So that's tough. But I hope to do a video during the hard time. You know, I'd like to, you know, without going being too gross or anything about it, I would like to do a video while I'm feeling really crappy, and you can sort of see by my emotions and all of that sort of thing just how hard it is, although, you know, I usually try and rise above stuff most of the time, but, you know, sometimes it is just too hard. I will try and bear what's happening, warts and all, without being gross, as I said. Anyway, so chemo today, 5th round, yippee, 1 to go. It's very exciting. So my treatment, as you've gathered now, is 6 rounds of chemo, and then I will have 6 weeks of radiation every day, 5 days a week, every day for 5 days a week for 6 weeks. So what my chemo is made up of is the first 3 weeks, the first 3 rounds of treatment. Each treatment was made up of, I would receive 3 drugs, and everyone's treatment is different. This is just me. And then my last 3 rounds, that I'm on my 5th one today, is just 1 drug, and it's called docetaxel, and it's brutal. The first 3, after my very first round of chemo, I ended up in hospital for 5 days with antibiotics being pumped into my vein for the entire 5 days, which was hard. But what happened was I became what they call neutropenic, and which is talking about your neutrophils, and your neutrophils are part of your white cells. So typically what happens is when you have your chemo, your first 7 days you're really toxic, so you have to put the lid down when you flush the toilet, and always full flush no matter what, even if it's just peeing, full flush. If I have any spills or accidents, it's really kind of best that I clean it up, since I'm already the toxic person and you don't want to get this stuff on you. So the first 7 days I'm really toxic. I actually think you're just toxic all the time, but I just think it's those first 7 days that it's really bad. And then from that 7th day, for the 2nd week, from the 7th to the 14th day, is when you are at most risk of picking up infection. It's when your immune system is at its lowest, with day 10 being the rock bottom day. So as per by the book, I got sick and got hospitalised in emergency, got taken to emergency and hospitalised on the 10th day after my first round. I was very by the book, of course, I'm always a rule follower. And so why I knew to go to emergency is because my temperature got to 38 degrees. Your thermometer becomes your best friend. I had to, because I don't really trust thermometers. When I was at Mum and Dad's after my last treatment, I had 3. So, yeah, I just don't really trust them all. They show different readings all the time. And anyway, so yes, you take your temperature all the time because it is very, very dangerous to get a fever when you're having chemo. Lots of things can go wrong if you get an infection, so you have to go straight to hospital. So that was what happened with my first round of chemo, and then after that, for my next 2 rounds with those same drugs, my body seemed to get, I don't know if it was used to it or not, but because of that first hospitalisation, my oncologist said to me that we had 2 options. We could either reduce my dose of chemo, which nobody wanted to do, or I could go back into the hospital the day after my chemo, after every chemo treatment, and have an injection of neutrophils to prevent me from becoming neutropenic. So obviously that would be the best option, because we don't really want to reduce the dosage because we want it to kill as much cancer as we can. So having decided that, then we have to deal with the side effects of the neutrophil injection the day after. Of course, there's going to be side effects with that too. Nothing's easy. And the side effect of that is bone pain, because the shot that you get for your neutrophils goes and works away in your bone marrow and produces white cells to boost up your white cells. That makes sense. So that's why you get the bone pain. And it was horrendous. When I had that shot in hospital, it was absolutely painful. The shot itself wasn't painful. The days following with the bone pain was very painful. In my hips, really bad. But that was it. Didn't get anywhere else in hospital. And then, so after with my next 2 treatments, I actually did quite well. I just had the usual nausea, fatigue. What else did I have? That was it, really. Oh, mouth thrush, really bad. But they were manageable, like I had a special mouthwash for the thrush. You just have to be really careful what you eat and all that sort of thing. So that was okay. It was manageable, put it that way. It wasn't a walk in the park, but it was manageable, and that's the best you can hope for. I went, after my second chemo, I went into hospital to have my neutrophil injection on the day after my second treatment, and they told me there that day that most patients give the injection to themselves, and my initial reaction was, no way in the world, I would be hopeless, I'm no good with needles, I'm okay if I'm not looking at what they're doing, I'm this la person, can't look, otherwise I'll faint. The pain, the bit of sting that you get with an injection or whatever doesn't bother me, I'm fine with that, but seeing what's going on, I can't do that. So I said no, thank you. But then I thought about it, and I ended up deciding to try it because my sister was staying with me for my 3rd round of chemo, and she has given injections before, and so I thought, oh well, she'll be here, she can help me through it, and she did. But I still did it myself, and now, after my 4th treatment, my 4th chemo, 3 weeks ago, I did it myself, and tomorrow I'll do it myself again, and I'm totally fine with that now. It does not hurt a bit, and you don't have to find a vein, so you just squeeze a bit of fat off the belly and or the thigh. Stick it in, it's all good. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm normally such a wuss. So anyway, it's toughened me up, you could say. So, yes, the first 3 rounds of chemo, that's what that was like, and this video is becoming a bit long, I'm sorry. So my 4th round of chemo, which was my last one, with the new drug docetaxel, absolutely brutal, as I said to you. So you'll understand why I'm a little bit nervous today. I've just had it injected into me. So the next 2 weeks are not going to be pretty. Okay, so what happened last time was, first of all, fatigue, really, really bad fatigue. No nausea with the docetaxel, which is fantastic because that means I can just eat, right? No, wrong. Because with the docetaxel, mouth ulcers really, really bad. So bad, I think they were even in my throat, I couldn't swallow. Then, so if you can manage to eat past the pain of mouth ulcers, and I didn't really think mouth ulcers were that painful. And they're not. I've only ever had one at a time on, I don't know, probably 3 times ever in my life. When you've got a mouth full of ulcers, that's a whole nother ball game. Because when you get food caught up in your mouth, you can't even use your tongue to get the food out because your tongue hurts too much. Anyway, it's just bad. So drinking food or jelly, custard, things like that are really the only option. So if you can manage to get that down, then you get your food into you so you're not starving anymore, then you have diarrhea. Bad, really bad. I had it so bad that my weight, I lost 6 kilos in a week. And I was feeling pretty bad for it. So yeah, the diarrhea. So what have we got? Fatigue, really bad. Mouth ulcers, really bad. Diarrhea, really, really bad. Stomach cramping, not that bad. And then, of course, yay of all symptoms, bone pain with docetaxel. So even though I didn't get the bone pain from my neutrophil injection that I was giving myself at home, I got it from that injection in hospital, but I didn't get it when I was doing it from home. You get bone pain from the docetaxel, and that was really bad, to the point where I was walking, I felt like my legs were going to like just pop out of the joints from the hips or from the knees or from the ankles. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've got to look forward to in the next couple of weeks, and I'm slowly declining. I'm very tired right now, you can probably tell. In a few hours I'll be talking like a drunk person unless I go and have a little sleep. So yeah, it's all fun and games. Sorry, just going to put this on because it's getting a bit cold. Yeah, so that's what I've got to look forward to over the next 2 weeks. And that's what I was going to say to you. When I was having my chemo today, she went to put, it's just the nature of it, she went to put a needle in, and it got caught in the wall of the vein. This is what she said. And she's very, very good, one of the best ones there, I know she is. So she had no control over that, that's just what happened. So it meant that, you know, no drugs were going to be flowing in there. It just wasn't going to work. So we had to go for another one. But that's okay, it's all good. And this here, I'll just show you, is my drugs for the next week. That's just some of them, that's not all of them. So we've got that's my pre-filled syringe, that's the bag for it. Got alcohol wipes in there, and that's where the needle goes when I'm done. We've got Panadol for the bone pain, yes, that's all I can take, it doesn't do a thing, it takes the edge off, that's about it. Buscopan for stomach cramps, diarrhea tablets, mouth ulcer cream paste, nausea tablets, and fluid retention. That's another side effect too, fluid retention. That's what these tablets are for, that helps that. The thermometer, which I showed you before. So yeah, that's what I've got to look forward to, and that's not including my my naturopath supplements that I take to try and help my system through this. So yeah, that's it, that's me. So I will try and do something of a video when I'm feeling really crap, and you know, you probably don't want to see that. If you don't want to see that, don't watch it. That's if I do it. Okay, see you all soon, bye.